What's up, guys? This is motovlog number 3. We are going for a ride towards Greater Noida today after a very, very long time. Passed so many times, it's only been Gurgaon, Manesar, KMP. As always, a bit late, but the meeting point is very close to my house. So we'll be there in about 30 seconds and we'll update you from there. Very well, sir. How are you?
Good, good.
Long time?
Yeah, long time.
Hi. Hi, how are you?
Global.
Sir, how are you? नहीं. Hi. Hi, how are you?
दो.
क्या नाम है जी?
How are you?
बिल्कुल ठीक. So today is a very small group. I don't know why, but very few people. I think we're about 10-15 of us. So usually we used to do a lot of Greater Noida, go on the Agra Expressway up to Jaywar, which is the first toll, take a U-turn and come back. But then the UP police became really strict with two-wheelers on the expressway. I still fail to understand why Indian cops have so much against sports bikes, considering the fact that these bikes are sold legally in India. It's not like they've been smuggled or they're illegal. Anyway, we started the ride late today, so quite a bit of traffic. It's going to be a really short ride because we're only going up to Pari Chowk, and I'm going to turn around from there. So last time, in my last motovlog, I gave you a brief history of when I started riding and what I ride and the bikes that I have. Today I thought if I get the time, because it's going to be really short, I want to enjoy the ride as well, I thought I'll let you know how I started riding a two-wheeler and what was my first two-wheeler that I started riding on. So I don't know if you guys know, I'm sure most of you do, there used to be a company called Kinetic. They used to make an automatic scooter called Kinetic Honda. So I did my graduation from Pune, and in 1997 I had no clue how to ride a two-wheeler except a bicycle. I told my parents I was pretty confident I'd learned how to ride a two-wheeler. I had never ridden one, a two-wheeler with an engine. And I went to the Kinetic showroom and I picked up, they just introduced a new version of the Kinetic Honda called the Kinetic Marvel. A very futuristic looking scooter at that time in the mid-90s, 97. We also used to call it the pregnant Kinetic. It had like a fat front end. So I remember, and this was in the summers in Pune, it rains quite a bit in Pune. When I went to the showroom, my father was kind enough to have sent the funds and paid up for the Kinetic Marvel. I went to take delivery and it was raining heavily that day. I'd never ridden a two-wheeler, engined motor two-wheeler in my life before. The showroom guys asked me, do you know how to ride it? I said fairly simple, you know, just open the throttle and keep going, and brakes were, you know, left and right. Left was the rear and front right. Typically how all these automatic scooters are, lever brakes. I sat on that scooter, took delivery, open throttle. Luckily I had about 2-3 kilometers of a straight road there, straight right outside the showroom, and just started riding. And touch wood, with God's grace, I rode that thing I owned it for about 2 years in Pune, and it was fun riding it. I think I left you one behind. Oh, finally. So, after that, after I picked up the marble, I was, of course, typically college life, you have roommates and you're staying with friends from different parts of the country. So my closest friend, roommate, at that time, I think we're pretty close even now, though we don't speak much. His name was Siddharth Sethi. He had bought a Suzuki Samurai. Again, guys who are aware of the mid-90s and late 90s would know that Suzuki had come out with two of these bikes which were really hot setting in the market. One was the Suzuki Shogun, which was the faster version of the Suzuki Samurai. And that's how I learned. I just hopped onto my friend's Samurai and engaged the first gear, let go of the clutch, and I've been riding ever since a geared motorcycle. Again, God's been kind, and it didn't take me any time to learn. And that's when I sort of traded in my kinetic marble for his Samurai. We used to live together, so he used to ride more of my kinetic and I used to ride more of his bike. Typically grass is greener on the other side, you see. So you prefer what everybody else has rather than what you own yourself. So anyway, this is the first pit stop, which is right after the D&D toll. So we started rolling. I didn't realize that the 360 angle changed. I don't know where to get a good mount, because I thought this was one of the good ones, considering it's all steel. Seemed pretty tough, but I guess the wind blast is so much that it hits the camera, and it probably can't take the weight of the camera, and it bends weird. Anyway, I remember when I started riding, we used to ride a lot to Greater Noida, and this is one of those exits onto the Greater Noida Expressway where I would sort of practice leaning. So I would give this exit a lot of credit to how to learn how to lean. So coming back to my general rant, during my college days, being in Pune, there are a lot of rich Sindhi Parsi boys there, and bikes, fancy big bikes, sports bikes, liter bikes, half-liter bikes. They weren't sold legally at that time. Usually there were all these illegal imports, and DRI was like massive on these guys. Out. And I remember I had a friend that I don't want to name him. He used to deal in bikes in Pune at that time, and he gave me a Honda CBR 600F 99 model, and that was sort of my first sports bike that I had. I used to ride it in Pune. I'll try and put a pic. I think I have one with me on that bike. And once I had it, I just went crazy. Yeah, that's how I got my hands on a sports bike, and I sort of learned how to ride a sports bike. I finished my graduation, came back to Delhi in 2002, I think it was 2002 only. Again, kinetic, partnered with Yusung, and they came out with the Aquila 250cc cruiser in around 2002, and I remember I went and picked it up. It looked really swanky. Again, there were hardly any Harleys in India. Nothing close to the Aquila, or even far better than the Aquila was being sold at that time in in the country. So that was my best bet of having a legal motorcycle, and I bought it. It was like my pride and joy at that time. 250cc. This Greater Noida Expressway hadn't come up then, as it was still under construction. So I used to do laps of D&D, I remember. D&D was, you know, it's a short stretch of road. So I would just keep looping it about 2-3 times and then head back home. So that was my stint with using Aquila. It was fun, it was nice. The top speed that I touched on the Aquila was about, I think it went up to about 120, 130, and then it kind of ran out of steam. You needed a lot of tarmac to get it up to speed beyond that, but I don't think I ever went up above 120, 130 on that bike. Anyway, shortly later, I found my wife, and the deal was either get married or I keep the bike. So as luck would have it, I got married and the Aquila went away. Then for about, I think good 6-7 years, I did not own a two-wheeler, was concentrating on my career, got married young. And then in 2009, around that time, Suzuki came out with the Bandit 1250S. That was, I think, the first legal road bike that they came out with in the country. And I remember going to the showroom in Lajpat Nagar, and I picked up a grey color Suzuki Bandit, towards the end of 2009. And once I picked up that bike, I knew about Gods around the same time. I just got to know about them. I think I emailed Doc and introduced myself, told him I'd been riding a two-wheeler since '97, the bikes that I own. And honestly, I didn't know anyone in Delhi who I could ride with. And God was very kind, and he said, sure, join us for a Sunday ride. And I think it was somewhere in November, December 2009 was my first ride with Gods. And again, with God's grace, it's been how many years? 13 years. Still going strong with the group. Many have come, many have gone. As in, they're still there, but not in the group. And it's been a fun journey so far. I have gone through a huge selection of bikes since I joined Gods. And I shall talk about it another time, the bikes that I've owned and how I souped them up, modified them ever since I had the Bandit. So I forgot to mention that's Mr. Broll. I introduced him to you last time. He was on his white Goldwing. Today he's been kind enough to bring his anniversary edition ZX10R. So I think it's the anniversary edition, whatever, anyway. Even if I'm wrong, someone's going to correct me. So we've reached Pari Chowk. This is where we shall turn around and head back to Delhi. Extremely short ride. How many kilometers? So it's been about 37.5 kilometers since I left home. By the time I go back, would have done approximately about 80 kilometers, which I think is an extremely short ride to do all this effort of waking up early in the morning on Sunday, getting ready, prepping a bike 1 day, 2 days before the ride. Anyway, anything for a ride, whether it's a short one or a long one. That's Mr. Mukim on his multi-strada. Hats off to this chap. He rides from such long distances every Sunday just to join us for the ride. I think he has to leave home at about 4:30 in the morning just to get to a ride which starts at about 6:30. So this is Mr. Anand. He's been riding this is not Anand, sorry. My fault. Oh, this is Nitin, but not on his bike. I think he's chain bikes. That is Mr. Anand. These guys keep swapping bikes. I get so confused who's who. Anyway, so we're heading back now. the ride's almost over. This is the last leg of the ride. I realized I didn't say my goodbyes in the earlier clip. So here's saying cheers and bye. Till next time. Please do like, share and subscribe if you like the videos. If you don't, share it with others and bore them. Anyway, it's always interesting chatting up with the camera. So hopefully I shall get back to the same next time. Take care guys. Cheers. Bye.